The big moment is finally here. The Beatles Anthology airs tonight right here on News 13.
That's right, and News 13's own Christine Mahoney is live at the WOW Superstore in West Sahara now, where the broadcast is already underway. Christine, how are they doing that?
Okay, thanks you two. I can barely hear you. What we have here is rock and roll history in the making. And in fact, we're getting this 3 hours early than anybody else. So if you come on down to the WOW Superstore, you will get to see the Beatles Anthology here. We're getting a feed directly from the East Coast. We're going to tell you what all this means to folks here in Las Vegas coming up right after this. We'll be right back.
Here are the Beatles.
Boy, remember that? Some say Beatlemania is back, while others would argue it never really left. Their sound, of course, is timeless and enduring.
No question about that. It's been almost 25 years now since the breakup of the Beatles, but as ABC's Catherine Herridge reports tonight, the phenomena survives.
Imagine I'm in love with
More than 30 years ago, the Mersey Beats and the Beatles played the same clubs in Liverpool, England. In the New Cavern Club, right next door to the original site, they sometimes reminisce about those early days.
You would come down here to the cavern and you would see the Beatles on stage and your whole life was changed. And that's the type of band you wanted to be.
In 1964, the Beatles did what no other British band had done before them. They conquered the American music scene. In all, more than 30 of their singles and albums went to #1 on the U.S. charts. Their fans on both sides of the Atlantic screamed, shouted, and fainted.
Help! I need somebody. Help!
They were musicians, they were movie stars, they were larger than life.
Help!
What they gave us was a great life force and then became an inspiration, I think, to many people.
A quarter of a century after the Beatles split up, the phenomenon survives. Beatlemania is still very much alive in the 90s. Last year's release of the Beatles live at the BBC sold more than 5 million copies. There are look-alike bands who continue to draw sellout crowds. There are thousands of fans who make the pilgrimage to the Beatles' hometown of Liverpool for an annual festival. To this day, the Beatles fan magazine can still be found on English newsstands.
This is the 11-year-old Beatles fan who's been into the group since she was 8 years old.
From the countless letters they receive, it seems children are just as enthusiastic about the music as the older generations.
It cuts through all the different genres and fashions and styles throughout the 70s, 80s. You know, it's still there, it still sounds fresh.
So I'm telling you, my friend.
For millions of fans and for musical groups like the Mersey Beats, the Beatles and their songs are timeless.
I'll get you in the end.
Catherine Herridge, ABC News, London.
And no surprise here, local Beatles fans are very excited about the release of the new Beatles Anthology.
Yes, indeed. And standing by live now is News 13's Christine Mahoney. She's over at the WOW Superstore on West Sahara. Christine, tell us what's going on.
There's so much going on out here. We are actually watching the Beatles Anthology 3 hours before we get to watch it here in the rest of Las Vegas. We're at the WOW Superstore, and we're actually in commercial right now. Talk about your timing. But we're getting the Beatles Anthology, a feed from the East Coast 3 hours early. Of course, this special will air here on News 13 tonight at 9 p.m. Fans are so excited about this new release. They say they can't wait.
We've already had, hundreds of people that have come through today, and they've asked about this Beatles event that we're doing. And we've already had, probably 30 or 40 that have come and reserved the CD set so that they can get it right when it comes out. So the Beatles fan is an intense fan.
I think it's pretty good. I think that a lot of people are going to buy it, and I think it'll be out. A lot of people will be listening to it. Pretty good. They're getting better, I think.
You can see that the excitement is just at a peak, frenzied rate out here. And joining me live right now is Dennis Mitchell, the news director at KKLZ Classic Rock here in Las Vegas. He's sort of our resident Beatles expert, doing a Beatles show himself once a week. And I think what most people want to know is how on earth did they get 2 new songs when one of the Beatles has actually passed away?
The story goes that Yoko Ono gave the 3 surviving Beatles a demo tape of a song John did in 1977, Free as a Bird. It's a beautiful ballad along the lines of Imagine. And Paul, George, and Ringo went in, wrote some music, wrote some lyrics, and finished out the tune with the help of Jeff Lynne, ELO's producer.
They dub it all together, and it's actually going to be released, and we got to tell you that it's not released until, what, tomorrow at midnight?
A lot of record stores staying open right here at WOW. They'll have it on sale tomorrow night, midnight. That's right. And the ABC has really done a good job of keeping the things under wraps. We're dying to hear this new song.
I know. Nobody has seen it. Nobody's heard it. We can't even get a copy of it here until midnight tomorrow night. It's going to be a 2-box CD set. You can also get it in cassette and vinyl. Remember those records, you guys? It's quite exciting out here.
If I still have a turntable player at all.
I do,
really?
yeah.
All right.
It's stuck away in my closet.
Christine, we'll talk to you a little bit later in weather. Thank you very much for reporting live from WOW for us.
All right, and just a reminder, folks, you can catch the Beatles Anthology starting tonight at 9 p.m. right here on News 13. Don't miss it.